Welcome, dear friends. Another day, another loving opportunity to learn with Emmanuel. Today's message, inspiration, is from the book Words of Life Eternal, titled Excuse Making. So today we're going to learn about the things that we may do that are preventing us from doing the most good in the world. This message starts with a quote from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 14, verse 18, that says, "And they all alike began to make excuses. The first said unto him, quote, I have brought a field, and I must go and see it. I ask you to excuse me." That was said by Jesus in the Gospel of Luke. So even 2,000 years ago, we were there with Jesus giving him excuses. So today we're going to learn how not to and the consequences, and if we do. And there's no judgment. We all make excuses at different times in our lives. And today we are opening our hearts and minds to the possibility that today is the day that we're going to move forward with the works of the good. Emmanuel comments on this verse by saying, excuse making has always been the escape route of those who abandon their responsibilities. Those who have fallen into wrongdoing often justify themselves with great powers of persuasion, but this does not exempt their conscience from the necessary process of restitution. Right? So we at times abandon our responsibilities. And what are our responsibilities? Those things listed, and we were, in agreement with our reincarnatory plan. The things you and I came here to do that have nothing to do with having a house, a job, traveling, that has to do with the spiritual development that we came to do. Earth is a school and a hospital. We are here to heal. We are here to learn to love one another. We are here to learn to serve one another. And a lot of times we make excuses. Many lifetimes we've been making excuses, and today is the day that we're waking up to that. He says, even today, Spiritism revives the gospel. So when we are studying Spiritism, when we are practicing, we're reviving the gospel and the good news. The good news that the kingdom of God is possible within us, even though we are in a world of trials and expiations, and the evolution is possible for you and I in this lifetime, not tomorrow, not next life, but this life. As Spiritism revives the gospel and calls humanity to build goodness on earth, excuses continue to appear in abundance, disguising desertion. So we say, in order not to serve, what do we say? We say, I'm still too young. We think that only those who are older need to do things. I'm too old. Okay, now I've enjoyed life. I'm going to retire. I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. I have taken on major commitments and cannot help. That's when we take commitments at work, when we take commitments other than being with our Spiritist group. In the world, Spiritism is still the minority, and that's because the workers are few. Many are called, but the workers are few because we are putting all their interests in front of being in the harvest of good that is the Spiritist center. My troubles are enormous. Family obligations are increasing, right? When the spirit obsessors, who are our friends, don't want us to come, they increase our troubles at work, at the family. There's a book already in English. It happened at a Spiritist center. It's already on Kindle. You can purchase it. And this book shows the techniques of the obsessors to break down Spiritist groups. And you're going to see there, you might see yourself in there at times in your lives when difficulties occurred and we put in place rearrangements in our time and schedule that took us away from the center. It says, business leaves me no time for spiritual activities. I was just worried, I'm a provider, I have to make money. Yet, yes, money is important because even money is needed. Money is needed for the activities of the Spiritist Center, but it shouldn't be that just business. We can adjust in order to be present for our spiritual development. The children take all my time, and there are too many problems. These are the things we perhaps have said. We're not judging, just a fact. When we know where we are, we're able to have agency to make a plan to change. And today we're invited by Emmanuel to not make excuses. He says, so numerous and convincing are these evasions because nobody is going to question you when you say, oh, I'm taking care of my family. My children have X, Y, and Z activities. My work is asking me to go X, Y, and Z, and I'm not putting in any time for the spiritual development. Right? They're convincing. Society will endorse you. He says, that even perceptive listeners may become persuaded that they stand before great sufferers or genuine incapable individual. And many even encouraged there in their flight from responsibility. That's when we say, yeah, sure, go rest, sure, go travel, sure, go take care of your own. But we're forgetting the invisible mass of spirits that need us. When we go to our spiritist groups, we're donating spiritual fluids and vital resources for the mentors to materialize and help the spiritual environment, to help the spirits that we don't see. If we were in the spiritual realm, do unto others, the golden rule. If we were in the spiritual realm wandering lost, that we weren't aware, especially in a country that spiritism is not widespread, imagine the blessing it would be to have a small group of folks who are there dedicating themselves to the goodness, the best of their abilities as imperfect spirits that we are. Yet there would be a point of light where spirits could go and be helped. What a blessing. So when we go to the spiritual realm, we would love help. So we help today, do unto others. Yet those invited to labors in the fields of light deceive them only by themselves, eventually awaken to the truth. So when are we going to awaken to the truth? Right now? In this lifetime when there's time for us to move? Or in the future when we are the ones wandering in the spiritual realm, hoping to find a group, right, that can have this direct exchange? Of course, there are other groups in the world that will help us. There are other outposts, there are emergency rooms, there are spiritual missions. Well, if God put us in a certain place at a certain time, it means we need to work on that place and that time, especially if we know of Spiritism. It says, what would happen if we don't realize? We would have painful consequences of our own negligence. When we reincarnated, we said, yes, I'm going to work on the harvest of the good. I'm going to be a spiritist. Yet I didn't do. There will be consequences. And they often find no restorative solution except to wait for future reincarnations to resume the opportunities. So, dear friends, let's awaken to the needs of today. Today, the world needs you and I to study these messages. Today, the world is thankful to the works of André Luiz, to the works of Emmanuel that we study here in our Learning with Emmanuel series, so that others can learn. So let's do our part in re-examining our responsibilities, re-examining our reincarnatory plan, re-examining where God put me and what talents do I have to give back to the community. Yet, no more excuse making today. So today, we're blessed to be here. It's always a joy. It's always a pleasure. I'm so happy that you have joined us in this community of students of Spiritism. And I wish you many blessings. God willing, I'll be back with you soon. Bye-bye.